everybody that's tuned in, that's been rocking with me for the last year. You know what I'm saying? It's been dope. It's been great, progressive, positive, honorable. You know, the whole list, the whole rundown. You know what I'm saying? It's been everything. So I'm blessed to have people like this tapping live on
Hey,
exclusive. Queen, what's happening?
how are you?
I'm doing great. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm
That's
good. I'm in
good.
my office trying to set my phone up.
That's a bet. That's a bet. Get it right. Take your time. You know what I'm saying? You
What's
looking
going
good over
on?
there. I see you looking great. You know what I mean? The
Well,
people here to see you.
I
So
got my
first and
drugs
foremost,
chain on. Look, you see my drugs chain?
I see it. I see it. I need one of those. I need one
These
of
are
those.
this is a new thing. We're just doing these. These are gonna be done for the new year.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Bet.
in this size and in a smaller size for like women's earrings.
Right.
And maybe in like an army chain where we're gonna have rose gold, gold,
Mm.
silver,
Okay.
and
Okay.
rose gold.
Oh, so you just creative all around. Like you went from the
Yeah,
clothes to
you
the
right
jewelry.
here. You right here. You in the office.
Listen, that's where I need to be at, live in person. You already know the vibes. That's fact. So look, first and foremost,
Mm-hmm.
for those who don't know, Black Madonah, designer, owner of Drügs, the clothing brand, just so everybody know what we talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, sir. So let
Yeah.
us know, before we talk about all that good stuff you got
Mhm.
going on, we got to know your history. We got to know where you came from, what you got influenced by, how'd you become to be so great. So, tell the people where you from, how you got your start.
Well, I'm from New York. I'm born and raised in New York. I was born in Long Island,
Hmm.
and I was raised in Harlem, Spanish Harlem, and Harlem, and I did a lot of stuff in New York. I've been a grown ass woman now. I've been modeling and acting since I was 6 years old. So
Right.
I was hitting the pavement, in New York, and I grew up in the 80s,
Hmm.
where streetwear was really, something else. We were creating our own culture, hip hop culture in creation,
Right.
so I grew up in that.
Right.
And so that's what brings me here, to dealing with the clothing brand and stuff like that, because I understand how important street culture is, you
Right.
know. So
Right.
I'm born and raised in New York, but right now I'm in New Orleans. So you
That's
see me,
heavy.
it's nice outside out here.
Hey, you lucky. It's a little chilly, a little rainy up my way. I'm gonna have to slide down south.
I'm out here in New Orleans,
That's a
So
bet.
I came out here to be more creative, to stay
Mm.
focused more on the brand,
Right.
separate myself from the norm, what I'm used to, put myself in a little uncomfortable predicament, and I'm
Right.
out here, and I've just been focused,
That's love.
focused on this streetwear thing and making sure that it doesn't get taken from us
Right.
as a culture,
Right.
So
That's major. I'm glad you said that. We're gonna touch back to that in a minute. We're gonna touch back on that right there. So, before we get there, let us know. I gave them a little sneak preview of what it stood for, but let us know what drugs stand for and how'd you come up with the name.
okay, drugs stands for do right to gain success. So
Mhm.
it's a word mark. It stands for do right, you gain success.
Right.
Um, back in earlier 2020, maybe 2012, something like that. My
Mhm.
ex-boyfriend came up with this slogan, and it took off. It took off, and he's from the street, so he really
Right.
didn't understand the aspect of handling business. When I
Hmm.
came into play with it, it was after it had already been promoted and everything, and it really just needed to be tightened up, tighten
Right.
the business end. So
Right. Right.
that's
That's
why I
love.
came to play.
That's love. So what year did you start? Did you
I,
officially launch the brand?
I I started with this brand in 2015. This brand had been already probably in about 2 years or something like that
Hmm.
before I came. But
Okay.
so how it started was he was a host similar to what you're doing,
Okay.
interviewing people like rappers and everything that used to come to Canada because where he was from,
Right.
and he would get them, accustomed and introduce them to the brand. It was that real underground swag at the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, when I met him, it had already turned to do right. You gained success, and it just needed to be tightened up, you know, like on the business end.
Right.
When I came into play, it had already sold over like close to $1 million maybe in sales in this brand, and
Right.
a lot of those orders were very hard to track. You know, they had a very hard time keeping up with those orders. That's where business comes into play. So that's where I kind of came into play, and it was kind of like he tossed the ball to me. I caught the ball. I kept dribbling it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
You feel me? It's
Right.
like,
That's facts. You hit him with the Steph. You hit him with the Steph Curry one time and
yeah,
got
you
things
know.
rolling.
Yeah, so now we actually for years we have been wanting to be a part of the Agenda Show.
Mm-hmm.
And the Agenda Show is a huge trade show for fashion streetwear.
Right.
And we couldn't get into that show. You have to be invited to that show. So finally in 2018, with all the paperwork and everything being done for the trademark to secure it, we secured the name worldwide, and we went straight in. The Agenda invited us as soon as that happened. As soon as that we secured everything on the paperwork level, we took it straight to the Agenda Show. And from the Agenda Show, we picked up not as many stores as I wanted to, but to be honest with you, we picked up about 12. And then over this past year, even with COVID, we're currently in 28 stores.
Wow.
Wow. When you get your shit together.
That's more than half the country. We only got 50 states. You're already in almost every state. You halfway there.
Right. That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Heavy. The marathon continues.
Facts. I definitely support that.
Nipsey wore the brand. Meek wore the brand. Future. A lot of people. Ludacris.
Hey, I bought a hat. Right. I bought a hat. It had the pom pom puff on the top, red, white, and blue John. Said Drügs in the front. My sister stole it. I was looking for it because I was gonna wear it for the interview.
Yo,
and I was like, last time
people's drugs out here. It's crazy.
I was sick. I'm like, man, I had it all planned out when I met you in Clubhouse. I'm like, yo, that's
so people don't let nobody steal your drugs.
I know, man, I know. But it's little sis.
It's gonna be gone.
It's little sis, so I couldn't do really nothing. I just had to I had to chalk it up.
But now you got me, so I gotta get you a hat.
So now I gotta purchase some more. I just gotta grab some more. That's all it is. Facts.
I got you.
That's real. So let's talk about this transition. It's dope that you brought up. You moved to New Orleans to tap into your creative side or your more creative side and really get some fresh air, get a change of scenery, all the things you need to keep things rolling. So and coming from Harlem. There's a lot of drip in Harlem. Harlem is one of the most flashiest, stylistic cities you can step into, especially coming up in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
That's major.
I grew up around, not old enough to be able to order my own Dapper Dan stuff, but he was definitely an inspiration to me. My sister used to go to his place, and they used to buy stuff and shit like that from Dapper Dan. So that was definitely the era.
Right.
And so being that, I grew up coming up with trends and stuff like that all my life, then I quickly really realized that, damn, this is what's in me. Everybody's got it in them. We dress according to our circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And so the importance of us getting a hold and owning our own brands is really important. You know why? Because everything else has been taken from us.
Right.
So they have taken so much from us. They have stripped us from so many of our ideas and of our way of life and capitalized on it. So
not to cut you off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just before I forget, not to cut you off, but you saying that it really resonated with me because we are in a perfect time to make that transition. You know what I'm saying? Being as though we have the information, being as though we have the ability to build our networks easier. Everybody's saying COVID kind of slowing things down. True, But there's always a way around it. You know, the big companies did it. We just got to apply those same methods. So, and
Yes.
you doing that, and I got to commend you
Mhm.
for that. And it's major that you're pushing that. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you continue. I just want to
Yeah,
say real
because
quick.
they've stripped us of so much,
Hmm.
and the fact of the matter is there are still few people here in the world that don't mind helping and
Hmm.
educating others. You
Right,
know, educate knowledge is not knowledge unless it's shared. So
right,
even if,
right,
you know, sometimes we don't make as much off of, we're not teaching, you know, but we're caring for
right.
each. And so I'm trying to do that with the brand. I'm making it now come full circle. It's
Hmm.
about do right, you gain success. So whatever was how we got started, you know, we show love to our 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 individual circumstances in our community. You
Hmm.
know, we show love to our music. You know, even if we don't agree with each other, I'm working on making this brand, you know, more or less, not just geared towards the rappers that we started out with and everything like that, but more or less towards people in general who have a you know, a genuine care to want to
Right.
have people do the right thing,
That's
you
real.
know, and encourage them and inspire them, you know. So we're leading a generation of new upcoming designers. You know, our children are growing up,
Right.
and so I'm trying to make this brand really about what it means now. So
Right.
that's the difference in the level up. That's
Hmm.
really part of the level up, doing what the acronym means. And it is a lifestyle, and we are who we are, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Right.
about everyone. So we've had so much support from all four corners of the world that it's just about bringing it together now and
Right.
projecting that in the way we dress, you know. So I'm doing only unisex, you know,
Hmm.
everybody loves a good hoodie, you know, everybody loves a good sweatsuit that's perfectly, you know, comfortable.
Right.
And I have now like over 60 different designs and logos, you know,
Right.
that our community of the Drügs gang has come up with. Like, you might even call me one day and say, you know, I got an idea for Drügs. I take all of that in, and I'm doing
Right.
collaborations with artists and with other brands. I'm
Oh,
helping
what?
get into other stores.
Well, look, I'm glad you said that because I brought my notebook out and I got
Okay.
plenty of designs in this thing, you know what I'm saying, that I'm going to forward to you. I ain't going to show it to the live. I don't want them to steal my designs, but I'm going to send them to you, you know what I'm saying, put them in good hands.
I didn't know that. I've been running into people, you know, they've got designs, you know, and they've dealt with the brand for
Hmm.
a really long time, and it might have been somebody that is just coming back around and finding me, and all kind of artists, you know.
Right,
And what my job is to do is basically just make sure that even though I am an artist, that I want to make sure that every other artist has an outlet to get their art and knows how to put it on clothes,
hmm,
and we do a collaboration. I've got four now collaborations. I have one with D'Angelo Burnham. Well, a lot of these people don't use their real names, but I mean, they sign their real names. But anyway, a lot of people. Glenn Riley is one of my artists. He comes up with a massive amounts of Nike, you know, Nike mocks up for Nikes. He's
hmm.
done a lot of stuff, you know, caricatures. He's done little tights. He is little tights. So he does that. And I've also got Ron King, who he's been down with this brand since day one, and
Right.
he's a very fine artist, you know. And I know for a fact that he inspires people like Swiss Beats and stuff like that.
Right,
So it's like a community of people that are just that I'm just making sure that what they have in their mind is executed.
right,
You
right.
know, their
Love.
art comes to the table and I help execute it. And
That's
we
major. And
things
building
happen.
a solid team is everything. And having that person to really,
Yeah,
make
it
sure
is.
the team is solid is everything too. Because, you
Yeah.
can have the team together, but you got to have somebody that can bring them all together, make it cohesive, make everybody on time, you know what I'm saying? Make things really run like a real business. And shout out to you for being able to do that because it ain't easy. It ain't easy. You got to
No,
deal with you got to deal with
I'm still learning.
egos. Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
I'm still learning and I'm sharing as I'm learning. and we're growing, you know, as a company together, and we're retaining ownership, which is the most important part.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
And it is dope because you named a lot of cool legendary influences, you know what I'm saying? Swiss Beats and people like that. And it's dope because your brand got introduced to me by another Philadelphia artist, actor, Tone Trump. I was on tour with him, and he had a few, you know, designs that he had got from you, from someone from the team personally, which was dope. And he's like, you know, this is a brand, and you know, just introducing new brands that's independent, that's, you know, black owned, that's about the people. And the best thing about this is another example of how we take something negative and turn it into a positive. And that's one of the things that I really love about, you know, brands like yours is, you know, people will look at it from outside the culture and not know, but we can confidently wear it knowing what it stands for, you know what I'm saying? And then they can, it's up to them to ask if they're really interested to know what it stands for and things like that. So keep pushing that. I don't care what you do, I'm supporting it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I'm rocking.
Thank
That's how
you.
I'm carrying it. That's
I've
real.
been supporting Black businesses, you know, all year. I always try to, but now, since, you know, the height of everything that's been going on with civil rights and everything like that, I've been doing more supporting of other Black businesses. So I have another collaboration. I have a collaboration coming up with a very influential person, and her name is Ajna Sarah. She has something place called the Healing Place Dynasty. She's the person who's in charge of me getting this jewelry out to people.
Right.
And
Right.
and I love her energy, you know, and it's a movement that she has, and it's a movement that I have, and it's a movement that you have. We're all about collaborating.
Right.
And so I'm making every link available, you know, somehow, somewhere on my website as I'm working with these people and as I'm doing new things. But now, what I'm really focusing on is tying more people in and making them successful with their own business so that they can help me. Because I really, I had a long conversation with someone, and I came to the realization that I really can't do business with people that I want to do business with for lack of knowledge of some things that they need to know. So I'm teaching them for my own benefit and for their own benefit, and hopefully they have their own business. It's not, if it's not directly, you know, what I'm dealing with, then it's something that they're passionate about, and we're just collaborating. And collaborating with businesses right now is really the way to go.
That's love. That's love. Look, I usually don't do this, but I gotta laugh at this one comment because every time I go live, somebody always say I look like somebody. Last week,
you do look like that nigga. Yo, I thought I was talking to Jamie Foxx for a minute. You see me over here smiling like,
yo, you funny. Look, this week I'm Jamie Foxx. I love it. Shout out to Soul and streaming almost 2 billion on Disney. You know what I'm saying? But last week I was Lupe Fiasco. You know what I'm saying? Last week I was Lupe. You know, shout out to Lupe. So this week I'm Jamie. I'm cool with Jamie. I can do that.
Yeah, you killing the Jamie Foxx room right now. Jamie Foxx got it.
Facts. That's love.
Jamie Foxx could get it.
Call me. Look.
I was talking about you.
But yeah, so back to the work before we get started.
Yeah, let's talk about. I love how you talking about. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's talk about, because you got a lot of great things going on, and a lot of people just see the success. So maybe talk about one thing that you had that, you know, maybe slowed you down, maybe one big hurdle you had to jump over to really get to that next level, or did it all just, you know, fall into place as you planned it? You know, sometimes it worked like that.
One big step for the that's okay. So the one big thing that I think is contributing to the rise of this brand right now, even in, you know, after withstanding all this other extra shit that happened before, it was getting away from people, because giving away merchandise can really make somebody go broke. You know, especially if you're upcoming. And I basically had to start it, like, it was almost like starting it from the ground up because of so many bad business practices before me. But with that said, you got to be careful about what you give away, because giving away merchandise can really hold you back, hold you down, keep you back.
Yeah.
And then also the people that you do give it to should be passionate about your brand, because if they're not, and you give them merchandise and they don't, let's say, take a picture with it or wear it, or, you know, even give you a shout out, or like sometimes, those things can hurt you as a business. Not to mention the fact of, you know, not being able to fill your orders and people not getting their merchandise on time. Those things, you know, that's not gonna ever happen again. You know, without communication, communicating with the customers is the most important. If you have something running behind, you just call them and talk to them and say it's a little bit behind, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? But that's been the biggest hurdle for this brand, because it blew up so fast. It took off so fast that the orders, it was so almost impossible to keep up with the orders.
Right.
You know, so getting a hold of that and really realizing how, and I was only able to get over that by being honest, you know, to my customers, and basically going straight to stores. That way nobody has to wait, you know. So once I got that down packed, I mean, to be able to get out to stores, I would say took me about a year and a half.
Okay. So would getting the clothing brand in the store be one of your top highlights? Would that be when, you know, that's getting to that, or do you have something else that you know?
Every day I get a new order, it's like, I'm so excited. You know what I'm saying? I'm so excited that people still love the brand so much that another city would actually be calling me and asking me for this. Because you got to keep this in mind. Before I came in, you know, I came to take over the brand in 2015. We had access to a lot of different styles of things. Like in California, you have access. You have more access to better quality and a variety of things. But we make a lot of our stuff from cut and sew now. So we make it from scratch.
In-house type work.
I minimize how many items and what different items I can sell, because most manufacturers, you have to order 2,000, 3,000 pieces of something. So I was able to creatively come up with a great product of same original manufacturer, and just do the same thing in multiple colors, you know. And now I'm getting down packed with fashion, you know, designing as far as like styles and what can be made, you know, and what can be there's difference between what could be made and what could be manufactured.
Right.
So that I came to grips with that. Once I came to grips with that, I'm like, all right, I know what I'm gonna do. So I got a whole line of hoodies sets, you know, all different colors, and I can keep this style and come up with mad different logos and just keep printing on the same stuff that we're cutting and sewing, which is perfect quality. And so we're taking it easy, but we have to come to grips with the fact that it's a difference between what we can sell and what we can manufacture. You know, that's a totally different thing. And then our relationship has been so long. We've had a relationship with the same manufacturer for years. You know, so it takes time. So a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about and be sharing with people is like, it took me a long time to understand that information.
Right.
I'm giving people cheat codes and shit like that, you know, and it's got me thinking like, well, maybe I should just come up with, you know, packages, because sometimes people can listen, they don't take it in, and then they execute. And I'm all about executing, getting it done.
100%.
You know, so the quicker you can come up with your idea, get it in the right person's hands, and get it started, then that's the best thing you can do. Because I have so many artists that they give me so many designs, but I can't manufacture all of them at the same time.
Right.
Now I'm breaking it down, and I'm thinking that if you're designing like you, or if anybody else is listening and they're designing, if you're designing something that you want to present it to me, you have to present it to me in 4 different ways. It just can't be, oh, here's one design. I need that one design in 4 different ways, because when I go to manufacturing your collection, I'm not just manufacturing you one piece.
Right.
You know, I have to manufacture a lot in order to get
Right.
you know?
Yeah, so it's a real process. And a lot of people
Yeah,
think having a clothing line, you can just go print a logo on a T-shirt and then you got a line. And it's like, no, you got merchandise. You know what I'm saying? It's a
yeah.
difference between a fashion line and some merchandise. You got to
There's
decide.
a point too.
Hmm.
There's a point too. There's a point too.
Right. So
So,
that the other thing that I want to ask you
mm-hmm.
is, coming up now, we really got to highlight, ourselves, our culture, and our community and what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been telling me that you've been getting more involved and being more aware of what's going on. So can you tell us what you got planned for this year? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to just bettering the brand, bettering the culture, and keeping everybody on a positive, progressive note, what you got planned for us this year?
Good question. Um, I'm in the middle of doing a collaboration with a company called Skate Aid, and
Okay.
it's a nonprofit organization based out of Germany that
Hmm.
builds skate parks all over the world.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about this. I've been excited about this for 2 years now. We finally came to an agreement, and we like the logo.
Hmm.
Like I'm a very stickler sometimes when it comes to, approving certain designs or messages or anything
Right.
like that. Because we have to be, right? Because this
That's
is
for sure. Can't let everything
have
go.
to control the narrative.
Right.
Right? So I went and we were back and forth, with designs, and then they're very technical with their laws over there. I have to be the same way here. So
Hmm.
we came up with we're gonna do something. They actually have a collaboration with
Okay.
Vans sneakers, and
Right.
um and they're gonna have a collaboration with Drügs. So it's gonna be mostly
Mm.
about skaters. It's gonna be
Off the wall and drugs, baby. Off
yeah,
the wall
yeah.
and drugs. I like it.
It's the war on drugs. It's gonna be skaters, and hopefully I'll be able to help them promote enough and give them enough inspiration to bring a skate park here in the United States. I think
Right.
that will be this year, but I see it happening within the next 2 years. Um,
Yeah.
and they have a pro. We have a campaign called Girl Skate, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be geared towards empowering girls, making them believe that they can do anything, just
Right.
like boys can. So and I feel like skaters have in our community, in our street culture community, haven't gotten enough credit
Right.
in our street culture, because there
Right.
are a lot of kids that love to skate. I have a son that loves to skate.
Right.
Um, and so there are a lot of kids and there are a lot of girls that love to skate too. And so we're just trying to empower children this year
Right.
um, through that nonprofit organization, as well as more stores.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
that.
not to mention,
That.
I'm doing the Drügs line. That's another thing. I mean,
Oh.
I've been like on the verge of, I don't know whether it kind of evens out. It's like kids,
Right.
Drugs are us.
Right. Right. I like
So
that. I
yeah,
like
so
that. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit them up with the Drugs of Us idea, but they love the Drugs, logo, and everybody overseas already they're familiar with it.
Right.
So they have like 30 stores in Germany, and so we're gonna work something out. It's gonna be nonprofit, but
Mm-hmm.
it should be profitable for us.
That's major. That's major.
Yeah, it's pretty
Anything I can do to contribute to that, whether it's just promoting it, y'all need a commercial shoot, y'all need a soundtrack or something, you know what I'm saying? Anything y'all need, let me know, because that's major, man. And it's for the
yeah.
youth. One thing we gotta really do is get back into action with our youth and stepping forward and really, stop letting it go up to chance. A lot of times we're like, oh, these kids, they crazy. But we don't never do nothing to make them sing, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
like doing something like that and giving them a place to go, giving them a brand to look forward to that really gives back. Because a lot of times these brands don't give back to their highest, selling clientele. You know what I'm saying? A
Right.
lot of these times you think about Gucci or you think about, I don't want to I don't want to talk about any other brands,
Talk
but a
about
lot of
it.
these
No, talk
brands,
about it,
you
because this
know,
is the problem.
yeah.
We spend our rent money. I mean,
Hmm.
I haven't, but I probably did a few years back, like
Right.
a few times. And we
Right.
spend our rent money with these brands, and
Yeah.
they capitalize on us all the time.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't know if you saw, we
can't
had,
say Gucci, then they need to get off drugs.
That's something like that needs to be done
They tried
because
to
it's
do a skate
crazy.
campaign. They tried to do a skate campaign last year. I saw it.
They're not gonna be able to do that. We don't. The streets don't mess with them like that.
That's just going to show, like, we're really gonna hit the pavement. We're trying to hit the pavement, and you know, some of the countries that skate aid is already available in, you know, they're going through, you know, you know, what do you call it? Not, you know, they're not eating right. You know,
Oh
they're
yeah,
hungry, you know.
malnourished, like malnutrition.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're going through it. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So this is gonna be a great way for me to give back
Mm-hmm.
um, to children of the world. I just need to be very careful in how I decide to promote it,
Right.
and how I decide and how strongly I feel about the acronym Do Right,
Mm-hmm.
You Gain Success. How
Mm-hmm.
strongly I feel about not letting these kids get it twisted. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Because this is
That's,
street culture, and that is why so glad to have control over a brand like this. The streets have control over this brand. You know
right.
what I'm saying? The
Right.
streets own drugs.
Mm.
That's what's really going
I
on.
love that. I love that because I just had this conversation about who makes the rules in our society these days. Do the streets still make the rules, or do the industry make the rules? And a lot of people had it misconstrued. It was a trick question. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like, yeah, the industry. You know, they run everything. They tell you what's hot. They tell you this and that. And I'm
And
like,
here's
yeah,
my we do now.
we always did.
We
We
no,
always
they
did.
have we always have, but
Mhm.
we never had the tools and the you know, the ways of networking with each other to know
Right.
what to do. You
And
know,
monetizing it.
it just so happened that this is how it's going down. We
Right.
own drugs.
Right.
And I'm
And
unapologetic about that. I did
I was
not,
about to say, and we
I
ain't
didn't
scared
like
to
it at
say
first.
it.
I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why me? Like, this is a big word. This is a huge responsibility.
Right.
And I see why I was chosen, you
Mm-hmm.
know, now. Because I care. Because I
Right.
really talk about people getting it twisted. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, and I'm very strongly, you know, have very strong views about the streetwear culture. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I have very strong views about how our children are being raised, what they're being taught. I have very strong views about how our black men are being treated. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And
Right.
how we've suffered so much and they've taken so much. It was only right for us to own drugs.
It was. It
Because
definitely,
I give a
definitely.
fuck about the people. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
and I know that drugs interference with any other kind of way. If it was in any other kind of way, it would have been mishandled by
Right.
some greater company or
Right.
some, you know, greater, you know, industry or
Yep.
politics
Yep.
or any of that shit. I
Would
know.
have fell into the monopoly. Would have
Yeah,
fell
it
right
would have
into it.
been a bad look. And
Right.
who's to know? Who's to say what could happen in the future? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? That,
Mm-hmm.
you know, anything I could be into, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? I'm willing to take this journey. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm willing to take this. I'm willing to take this. I'm not willing to do it alone.
Right. Yo, that's real. Listen, you not. Like you said, you
Yeah.
got the streets back and you got the big fish on your side. You know what I'm saying? You know you good anytime you step in Philadelphia. You solid, all the way solid.
Thank
So,
you.
you know, and it's dope that you really have this control because, like, I just had Rudy Lowe. I don't know if you're familiar with Rudy Lowe.
Yeah.
He's one of the people who one of the originators of the Low Lifes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they really made polo pop off in the streets.
Yes, I was there.
Okay,
I was
bet. Yeah,
there.
yeah. Of
Yeah.
course, you're right in Harlem.
And I'm
Right.
quite sure that when I was 13 years old, me and Rudy was catching trains together somewhere.
Right, right. And
Mm-hmm.
it was dope because seeing his transition and what he did and seeing the benefit that the corporate companies had off of the streets. And that brings me back to the part where it's like the industry never really made the rules and never really made what was cool. They just took what we did and highlighted it and monetized it
And
and
put
then
it
put
on
their
black
name
and
on
white.
it.
And put it on black and white.
Right,
They
right.
signed off, they sold us out,
Hmm.
and that's not going to happen. I even today get advice from some people who have been in this industry for so long before
Hmm.
me, and they tell me, just build it up and sell it. You know, just build it up and sell it. And I tell them this, I'll build up another one later and sell it. This is for the streets.
Right.
This one belongs to the streets.
Facts, facts. Not the baby. Don't sell the baby.
No, no, we're not going to do that.
That's love. But that's a lot of times what it comes down to because people
I
have to have
don't want to
that
look like
drive.
and say, oh shit, I sold out, and this and that. So this is my word, you know what I'm saying? And if I ever in the future change my mind about that, pull me to the side and
I will
talk
do
to
that.
me. Let me figure this out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? At least I know for right now, we own this. And this is owed, and so much is owed to the people who have pushed this brand.
Right.
That if anybody has approached me, they would have to come with an enormous amount of money and an enormous amount of, here, you can have control of it as well.
Right. And that's the key, is still having control of it. They can promote it all they want. They can put it wherever they want, as long as you got full control, as long as they run that check.
Right, because it's a lot of us.
Right. That's real. And on top of it, you're doing more than just what you're doing for your team and your company. You're doing something for the community. So if these companies and these partners and these investors don't want to be a part of our community and culture, you know that's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? So keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Don't let them Dapper Dan you. You know what I'm saying? Shout to Dapper Dan.
I was so
Monumental.
I was so mad about that I immediately lashed out with the design, in reflection of my feelings of what Gucci did, you know. And we've seen this happen throughout history. Like these people always take our money, make us late on our mortgage payments or what have you, and
real
take them to the dirt. You know? And I immediately lashed out, you know, with the design. I would love to show it to you. Just in case they wanted to see it, I figured I would just show it to you. Next that print comes out.
That's your code.
Point.
That's your code.
Yeah, that shit is on point. That's D.R.Ü.G.S success.
Right.
So I immediately lashed out, and then I saw an immediate response with that skate campaign, and I'm just like, you know, this shit don't stop with us, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't see that.
Right.
You know, because I've been seeing this for years. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing this for years, and then I'm so proud of Dapper Dan. You know, for being able to turn it into something good. That's just what I'm doing.
Right.
That's what we do. And that's what a lot of people from Harlem do.
Right.
So I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
And a lot of people don't understand how tough it is in this fashion industry. Once, you know, when the majors blackball you, it is tough to get around it because there's a lot of corporate dollars there to push that negative narrative towards you. And, you know, it's crazy that, you know, if you even, you know, I studied the story of Dapper Dan to see that those same people who wanted this man in prison and all kinds of money from this man now got him on the team. And it's like, okay.
My sister was there. I remember that day so clearly when Dapper Dan's spot got raided. Like, I didn't get to see his special or whatever, but I don't watch it sometimes because I was actually there. And I remember that happening, and I remember crying as a child because I wanted to go to that store so bad.
Right.
And so much activity was going on over there. My mom and my sister didn't want me around. I was a little sister. But,
That was with the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? That was with the real OG players.
Like, those people inspire me, you know, and those are times that I lived through. I was there. I remember that happening. And I disconnect myself sometimes because I'm a creative person, so I'm constantly disconnected from myself. I graduated from a performing arts high school where they taught me how to take corrective criticism, and they taught me how to deal with me being a creative in this world. So if I hadn't have done that, I don't know how far I would make it, because I literally went to FIT when I was 13 years old. I went for 3 summers. 13, 14, and 15. I went to Fashion Institute of Technology, and I learned so much that I didn't know I was going to end up doing this, you know. But it's the love that I have for the culture and the preservation of the culture that drives me to continue doing it. Not to mention the people who are purchasing all the clothes. Like, it's really about them. That's it. It's about them because like you said, the politics are so thick. Had these people not all over the world been purchasing my clothes, they might have been able to sweep me under the rug.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's real.
Mhm.
That's so real. And it's crazy because, you know, in America you think, you know, everybody comes over and it's like, you know, we get the whole American dream story and it's like, no, you gotta bust your ass out here to get
Don't
to it.
you?
Just to
Boy,
get to it. Not to win, just to get to
just to get,
it.
just to warm up.
Right.
Just to get the warm up.
That's
So,
real.
I work with a manufacturing company in Pakistan. Um, I prefer not to do business with China. I have never done business with China personally. But I'm glad that I was doing business with Pakistan because it would have been very hard for me. And then selling to dealing with China is sometimes not settling for the best quality. And
Right, right.
so I've been having this relationship with my manufacturer in Pakistan. I love working with him. He's like family with me.
Mm-hmm.
Those hours are crazy. I wake up every morning at 3 o'clock a.m. Sometimes I don't sleep until the next day, but
Right.
I'm not on top of those relationships with those people on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Then you know, I don't want to get my merchandise lost, and I need to know and see how everybody's operating. So,
Right.
so those hours do take a toll on me sometimes. Personal life is almost non-existent.
Right.
I'm definitely married to these drugs.